In a year that's been hard for all of us, it's been especially hard for one community in particular, and that's why I've asked my guest, Lindsey Krinks, to join us. She's the author of Praying with Our Feet. Lindsey, thank you so much for coming on the Sami Cone Show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be with you.
We've been volunteering with Open Table of Nashville, which you co-founded for years, and I couldn't even get through the prologue without this wrecking me. The book, we'll talk more about the book too, but I want you to just talk about even the title. You say in the prologue, it's a tale of learning to pray with our feet when our spirits were weary about the state of the world. Can you talk to us even just about this title and where it came from?
Yeah, so I was raised with a very personal faith, right, in the Christian tradition, and it took me a while to realize that faith, that personal faith, called me to act in the world. All of us who are people of faith and conviction need to be able to act on those, right, in order to make them real. And I really understood that a little bit more fully when I was at college here in Nashville, and I came across this beautiful quote by Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, which is of course what the title of the book is based on. And he was marching, he had to flee Poland from the Nazis and was marching arm in arm with Martin Luther King in Alabama, and said, I felt as if our legs were praying. So there's a deep spiritual component to the work of justice as well. So the title is kind of twofold in that way.
Yeah, and so many of the guests I'm having on today really are talking about that, stepping out even when you're afraid or even when you don't know what the next step is. And I think I'm looking at your button that says housing is a human right. I think that's why homelessness has always been such a cause dear to my heart, because it should be something that we don't take for granted, right? Can you just define, even just the term unhoused? How can we redefine that, or what should we be defining that as?
When we talk about our friends experiencing homelessness, it's really important to remember that they're people. They're not just the homeless or whatever. They're people first. And so we really understand that the root cause of homelessness is the lack of affordable housing. And it shouldn't be a radical concept that housing is a basic human right in this day and age. To live without housing, to live without health care, is to live in subhuman conditions in a society that has enough to go around if we shared more.
Yeah, I have teenagers, and I want to talk about how even we can help as a whole in just a minute, because one of the first things my daughter did was help organize one of the shelter's closets, just basic things that we don't think that are needs. But one of the things you wrote about that really wrecked my daughter's heart was when you talked about our pets and our cars have better housing than some of our friends on the streets. What can we do? Tell us, what can we do to make that stop and make a change?
There's really two levels we need to be acting on. We need to be showing kindness and compassion in those one-on-one encounters, even if that's keeping some supplies in our car when we're driving around, keeping warm socks, bottles of water, snacks, just showing compassion and affirming the dignity of people. Your kids are watching you. Your friends are watching how you interact. So we can model that kindness and that compassion. So that's one level. The other level is kindness lived out on a systemic level is justice, right? So joining groups like Open Table Nashville, joining other advocates that are working for a more equitable and just system. If we had more affordable housing, we wouldn't have homelessness on the scale that we have right now. So we put out calls to action. People can follow the work we're doing, but just getting involved. Everyone can start where they are and take that next step. It doesn't have to be moving from, being at home to being an activist on the streets. It's just keep doing that next step.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time left. There's so many questions I want to address, but you talk in the book about we see the exterior, right? We look at the effect and not always the cause. What do you think is one of the most pervasive misconceptions about our unhoused friends?
A lot of people think that people that are experiencing homelessness did something to get there. But the truth is that we all make mistakes in our life.
Amen.
A lot of us just have the resources to make those mistakes go away, right? So the root cause of homelessness is the lack of affordable housing and the lack of adequate wages. If we're addressing that, then people can keep making mistakes and keep healing from those, but not have to have it cost them their housing.
I'm so grateful you came to talk about this really important topic. Praying with Our Feet is the book. Lindsey Krinks, we're going to put all the information there so people can find the book. Thank you so much for joining me today and for the fight that we will continue to help you fight for our unhoused friends. Thank you for being here.
So good to be with you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.